All the kids in the village, and from all the villages, were gathered together. We all had to have something to say. For Christmas, you had a piece that you had to do, actually. And what down here was called the Barrel House. That was the community center. And my aunt and Lorraine Haynes and everybody, we got off the bus. When we got off the bus, we had to go down there for practice. And we practiced. They had a piano in there or whatever. We had to sing. Everybody had to have a part. And then they gave you, Santa came down the chimney out of the back room, right? And Halloween, we didn't have anything to dress in. Not like the Hayneses, but that's okay. We went to their house, in the Isaiah Haynes house. You knew you were going to have apple cider and cookies. You go to Lorraine's house, you're going to have fruit and whatever. And we kind of went around the village, yeah. We used to go to a place called Upton Station over on, you know where Upton Station is? There's a pond over there.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big gathering, particularly for black people on holidays. It'd be all spread out. Everybody'd be having barbecue and all that, and you're swimming all day long. So we had those kinds of things. Or we would travel, because they had a baseball team here at one time. You know that, right? We would travel to Lakewood or to Toms River or whatever for these big baseball games. It was a big day for those guys because wherever the game was played, there was a bar. Okay, so it was an all-day kind of thing. The kids had to spend a lot of time doing nothing after the game while these guys are in drinking. But it was all fun. It was all fun. And Whitesbog was kind of like the center. I can't quite remember where it was placed. I can't remember now because in the latter years, you know, we used to play basketball in there.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, we played. Now when I say the Barrel House, I'm talking about the smaller one, not right. That was the community center.
The one with the shuffleboard on the floor.
Is there a shuffleboard on the floor now? Yeah, and we used to play basketball in there. And then we had stations in there where you could. Back in the day, you had to build your blueberry crates. Okay, you didn't buy them the way they do now. So when I came home from school, if I wanted to make some money on a weekend or whatever, I would go in there and make crates. And all you had to do, count your crates and whatever, and you turn them in at the end of the week or whatever, and I don't know how much you got. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was a lot of money for us at that time. And you could make money. I always came back, no matter what, to Whitesbog, even after my mother and father left. I brought my kids with me. We used to come and ride through the villages and whatever, because this was always near and dear to me. And so because it was near and dear to me, it was near and dear to them. I had relatives who lived in Whitings, and because of my age and because of my sentiment about things, I have been spending my last few years touching bases with all the places that mean so much to me when I was younger. So I go to Whitings, I went to Jacobstown, I don't know if you know where Crosswicks is, and Chesterfield and all those places. I had relatives that were in those areas, and as a little kid, the only way I got there was because they came and they took me there. So I can only remember parts of that. So I have been spending, I get in my car on a Sunday morning and I'll go to Chesterfield, I'll go to Crosswicks, I'll go to Whitings, I'm going to go to Point Pleasant, New Jersey, because that's where I was born and I've never been back. So my plan, God willing, is to get up on Sunday morning and take a ride to Point Pleasant, New Jersey, so I could say that this is where I was born and I've been back. My life as a really poor kid, really poor kid, and I'm not a rich man, I'm not even middle class, but I've had a wonderful, great life because of other people. When I got married, and I was the first one of my family to go to college at all, I was the first one to be able to buy their own home. My dad thought I was some kind of a hero when I got out of school. My dad was from Norfolk, Virginia, and so every year they would go back to Virginia at a certain time. It was homecoming. So when I got old enough to have my own car and drive, he thought that was the best thing in the world. I could drive him down there, spend the weekend down there with him, or 3 or 4 days and whatever, and then come back. So my mother and father always made me the guy who was responsible for the rest of the family, even as a little boy. You know, I had to take everybody's lunch money to school for them. I had to take care of them. I had to look after them. And my dad and mother wouldn't make any decisions as I got older without consulting with me first, because I was their hero. I was the hero, the smart guy. But because of the life and because of the people I work for, and because of the people that I was associated with in Burlington on the Board of Education, I knew a lot of people. I knew how to get anything done at any time. I knew people who could do it for you and could do it right. You know, I was in with all the big time people in Burlington City. As a kid, Isaiah Haynes lived in the house up here. I don't know what you call that now, the one over here on the side. And he had 2 cars. His wife had a car and he had a car. They were alike. And those cars had the same license plates on those cars, the exact same number, right? And as a kid, I was fascinated by that. I like to tell a story. I don't care where I go. I don't, wherever it is, and people talk about, you know, life. God has been so good to me from my beginning until wherever the end is, I hope, you know. I had a beautiful wife, and I say she was beautiful too, and a good wife. And we had 4 children, and they're all good children. 3 of them are college graduates, and the other one didn't decide. You know, there's always one that doesn't want to go to college or whatever, and that was her choice. And I had a good job all of my life. I've only had 2 jobs since I left Whitesbog. I worked 37 years for one company and 25 years here in Pemberton. And I retired about 2 years ago, not because I wanted to, but because my wife wanted me to. Because I enjoyed what I was doing. It wasn't a chore, it wasn't a job, it was just a blessing. And I had an opportunity all of my life, I've had an opportunity to help other people. In every job that I had an opportunity to help other people. Not me. So the blessings came from being able to help other people. And the boss I work for, the owners of the company and Chain Industries, they always said that always hook on to somebody else and drag them along with you. And so I sent a lot of kids to college. Kids came to me to work for the summer, and I used to mentor them, girls and boys as well. And the idea was to make them better people. Not to get stuck in a factory, working in a factory or whatever, but to make themselves better. And that's the kind of guy, he was the owner, that's the kind of person he was. He was a graduate of the University of Penn. We had our own box in the stadium on Saturday for football games. And if the weather was bad, we had an inn where we could go and look at the football game from the infield, from the outside. I mean, this guy was one of the top men at Penn. And so he shared all of his knowledge and all of his experience and all of his wealth with other people. He just believed in we should always be helping someone else. And that's what I've done all my life. I've dedicated my life to helping others. And sometimes now I wish I wouldn't be so selfish in helping my kids, but help other people. Because you know how kids are. Kids are. They're the joy of your life.